Across the Tracks. The story behind the songs, as told by the songwriter. It's time to go. Time to go. Across the Tracks. We go across the tracks on Pathways, Julian Taylor's latest release, September of 2024. Julian, welcome to Across the Tracks.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
Beautiful. It's called Pathways, this record. So hopefully over the course of this conversation, we can kind of talk about your entire career and the pathways. But we're going to talk about these 8 songs on this album. And let's start out by the first song that you wrote for this record and decided that this is going to be a record called Pathways, and it's going to be about this concept.
Sure, we can talk about that. Yeah, I was sitting in a living room space with 2 of my friends. I don't know if you're aware of Roseanne Barker Thornley or Robert Priest, but I've been known to co-write with people before. Sometimes I usually write myself, but I also find it interesting and quite lovely to have more perspectives on one take of something. And so we sat around and we started working on a song. I had already had the melody and certainly the chord structure all figured out before we started writing Pathways lyrically. And it was a lovely experience because both of those guys know me quite well. They're neighbors, actually. And it was an experience where we started to really try to focus on a song that could reach out to someone else, something that was not egocentric, and something that would definitely touch the hearts of someone who was, say, coming into their life, or coming into their own, rather, not necessarily somebody who's just being born, but maybe transforming into something else. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And knowing that there's always somebody there that's got their back, kind of thing.
There's so many pearls to gather, from the first thing we see to the last thing we need. It's the life in between that matters. All the warmth that you bring, darling, these things are the wings that we all chase after. And on this pathway, as we get closer, I'll be there as we grow older. When you need me, here's my shoulder. Be gentle, be kind, be grateful, take time. Remember, we're in this together. Let's just be who we are, follow our hearts, and dream that love is forever. On this pathway, as we get closer, closer, as we get closer, as we get closer. Don't you know life? It's the strangest thing.
Well, there's certainly a spiritual quality about the whole record, but on that song in particular, Pathways indeed was the first song that you put together then, the title track.
It was one of them, yeah. The other one would have been Weighing Down, probably came around the same time.
Yeah, and that's a pretty heavy tune. And there's a couple of heavy tunes on here. The whole record is pretty. Is it confessional to a point? You're certainly talking about some very personal matters in the whole record. Weighing Down is a good example.
I'd say, yeah, it's probably that and Ain't Life Strange are probably the biggest examples of that. But yeah, it is confessional. It's not autobiographical in any way, but definitely confessional. I think that it's been a hard road, and it's also been really extremely wonderful at the same time. I can't say that it's been hard and not educational and not fruitful, but you know, life's not easy. The older we get, I think the more we find that out.
Yeah, no
Especially
doubt.
in the middle ages of our lives, where the responsibilities of being an adult start to really catch up on you. And sometimes we still act like children and make decisions that aren't necessarily the best in terms of what's good for us or others around us, I suppose. But
Yeah. The way the world seems to work now, you can almost split it up into really the pre-internet and then the internet age. And the internet age seems to have, well, not seems to, it certainly has added a pressure. And I'm going to ask is, do you find the internet age has made the world a little bit more of a negative place? And as you talk about, you know, I mean, life is really about decisions and how you want to look at it. And when you have this kind of information, whether it's coming at you directly or indirectly, we certainly have different people don't understand what the subliminal messages that get sent to us, and so the negativity that seems to be out there, it penetrates us without us even realizing. And Weighing Down seems to be that kind of thing where it's a pep talk.
it is a pep talk, yeah. And it doesn't, it's not about the internet age per se. I can see where you're getting at it though, that, you know, because of the internet, things have become, it's like, I don't even think it's real. That's the thing. It's like, you know, I keep telling some people that the internet's not real. The way that people act on there, what they say to each other, that's not what you would say to somebody in real life. When you talk about divisiveness and, you know, insulting and bullying and cyberbullying, and I feel really bad for kids these days growing up in this day and age. I know how when I was growing up, at least, you know, if somebody had a problem with me or something like that, it was dealt mostly in person. If it wasn't able to be dealt in person, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just think it's really tough. Yeah, it breeds a lot of anxiety, I think.
Brick and mortar, solid as the ground, but you're caring too much and slowly breaking down. Cannon fodder and looking to escape the heaviness of all of your mistakes, weighing down, let it weigh you down. You've been so hard on yourself, it's time to let things soften now, weighing down, let it weigh you down. You've been so hard on yourself, it's time to let things soften now. You wish you weren't, but you're falling down again. It's been a hard road full of lessons. feeling hungry, trapped in solitude. The way that we choose to look at things is an attitude. Looking at the skyline tonight, I choose gratitude. Weigh you down, don't let it weigh you down. You've been so hard on yourself, it's time to let things soften now. Weigh you down, don't let it weigh you down. You've been so hard on yourself, it's time to let things soften now. You've been so hard on yourself that it's time to let things soften now. I waited for you like you waited for me too. We didn't get it right, but wanted to. Weigh it down, don't let it weigh you down. You've been so hard on yourself that it's time to let things soften now. Weigh it down, don't let it weigh you down. You've been so hard on yourself that it's time to let things soften now. You've been so hard on yourself that it's time to let things soften now.
You had mentioned Ain't Life Strange is a song. I want to talk about a little bit about the musicality of it. I love the dynamics on your record here. I find it.
Thank you.
Yeah, mostly in this, you got some great accent signature pieces, guitar, drums. There's a trumpet in another song that is really gorgeous. And then, of course, when I listen to Julian Taylor music, it's the lyrics that always attract me. And when I read this line or hear this line, the fine line between a broken and beautiful mind in Ain't Life Strange. Can you just give me some background there?
Yeah, I guess, it comes down to creatives, and I'm one of them. And I think creatives are a volatile species in a way. We're always tapping into the spiritual world, but we're also tapping out of our own sort of existence in a way where beauty is what we are trying to achieve, but not always, it's not always what we, that's not always the end result. In terms of maybe the art, it could be, but in terms of real life and what you do on a day-to-day basis and whatnot, I don't know if we really hit that one on the money, to be honest with you. I'm here traveling around, and my daughter's almost 13, and I'm missing days and feeling guilty about that kind of thing. And although it's a dream I want to chase, it's like I'm quite cognitive of the actual reality of real life too. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you've had a career that's spanning what now, 25 years.
Easily, yeah.
And you've gone more than just being an artist. You're a full-blown businessman. You've gone into your own label. You've fought the law.
I have, yeah.
Yeah, you absolutely have, and you won. I think. I don't know. Maybe the law it never lets up, though. So the victories are short-lived, I suppose, because they keep coming at you.
They certainly are.
Hiding away from life and the constant struggles that we face each day. Do we even know what we're doing to ourselves? how our actions affect everyone else. Don't you wish sometimes the time would stand still? Do you ever wish that time travel was real? Close your eyes, tell me what do you see? If you're like me, you struggle with all you're meant to be. Ain't life strange? Ain't life strange? Further away from what really matters, impertinent the crucial emotions that we've gathered. A hidden passage, a dark and hollow language that occupies the mind from time to time. Don't you wish sometimes the time would stand still? Do you ever wish that time travel was real? Close your eyes, tell me what do you see? If you're like me, then you're strange. Ain't life strange? Ain't life strange? Don't the grass look greener on the other side? But be careful what you wish for, you could get left behind. I see where I went wrong and all I could have done. There's a fine line between a broken and beautiful mind. Don't you wish sometimes the time would stand still? Do you ever wish that time travel was real? Close your eyes, tell me what do you see? If you're like me, then you're strange. Some days we think that we hate what we've become. Other days we just feel numb. So much time spent trying to let go, so much so we never grow. Ain't life strange? Ain't life strange? Ain't life strange? Ain't life strange?
I want to ask you a little bit about the business side and the song "Running Away." When you're running away, it's interesting that we're trying to solve a problem by running away, or are we running by running away? We're leaving the problem. That song's got some great what's the word, ambivalence to it.
Nobody's ever said ambivalence to it, but yeah, sure, I guess it does. Um, and are you referring to the question, are you posing that question industry-wise or just
Yeah,
general?
your approach to how the business, as you saw it, as you were coming through the business as an artist, and then suddenly you had to make a decision to say, well, if I want to be an artist, I'm going to have to get into the business here to protect my creativity.
It was pretty clear at the moment because we had been, dropped by a label, and that was fine. At the time, it didn't feel fine, and I know it really hurt everyone involved. Just all my friends, of course, in that group that I was in, Staggered Crossing. I know that it was a painful uh, situation, and obviously, it affected us in different ways. But the real sort of root at it, it caused us all a bit of a depression, I'd say. And the business can do that to you. It can spit you out and, chew you up, spit you out. And it's not always a good thing. We're witnessing a lot of that in some of these articles that are coming out about high profile people in the industry. It's crooked. I don't find the musicians to be as crooked. I find it usually is the other people that are kind of crooked. Musicians that I've met, for the most part, only become a little bit jaded because of what they go through. They're in it for most of them, really. Like the true artists are really into the music because they want to create something beautiful and fun or controversial. It's the other people that make a buck off of it that sort of take that and turn that path into a very dark one. It can happen very fast.
Yeah, I would liken that very much to just government, right? I mean, the people at large are good people. It's the government that becomes the thing that the people dislike. And so the same kind of thing, I would agree with you. Artists I have met are genuine folks just expressing how they're seeing things, as artists have done through the centuries. Artists are the voice of the generations. It's the folks that are trying to tap into that
and
fame and exploit it. Yeah, bang on.
It's interesting. I mean, back in the day, and I wasn't around. I know you weren't around, but there was times when music wasn't monetized at all. I guess records changed that, but most of the time in communities, music was used to bring people together, to celebrate, to also worship. Not worship is not the right word. It's a community thing and it's a spiritual thing. But this century found a way to monetize it, and they found a way to monetize community and spirituality. That's not just something that pertains to music alone. Look at what happened with evangelistic sort of behaviors and organizations. They're not the only ones to monetize and exploit community and spirituality. Music is about community and spirituality, and it has kept that way.
Pain. Only wish that I could get over everything. How am I supposed to handle all these scars extra time? Heaven's leading all of that. It's only me to blame. Been part of true situations that only made me cry. Buried lots of friends of mine before I even hit 29. Only wish I had a chance to show others that I'm not on cap. Even if I'm just a little jaded deep inside. Let's go. Am I letting no little matches go? Am I really getting over this, or am I just running away? pain. I'm not asking you to love me, but I love you just the same. Hey, am I getting over it? Or am I running away? Am I really getting over it? Or am I just running away? Hey, hey.
Sixth Line Road, another interesting tune. And are we paying homage here to heroic people, to heroic acts?
Yep, pretty much one in particular, but yes, two actually. The two would be George Armstrong, who was one of the first Indigenous hockey players to ever play the game, and then specifically the quote in the song. They tried to cut him down at the knees. Was a quote by another hockey player, one of the first black hockey players, Herb Carnegie. The quote comes directly from his tryouts for the Toronto Maple Leafs, where they said they would never ever have a quote play on their team.
Ah, okay. So I kind of felt like there was something going on there, and of course, explain to me the beautiful trumpet at the end, and who plays that?
Jim Hope. It's not a trumpet. It's a chromatic harmonica.
Ah.
And it's a gentleman by the name of Jim Hope, who actually plays in Buddy Miller's band down in Nashville.
One of the greatest was cut down at the knees. They said it wasn't on purpose, it was done deliberately. Each inch of pavement tells a story of grief, where the black streets divide the land of the free. Law and order to make the quota. You get knocked down just to get up again. When you are a hero, you don't stay in your own backyard. You take up your arms and you try to change the guard. That's why the war keeps raging on. That's why the war keeps raging on.
Yeah, can you tell me who else is on the record? I've been trying to track down there. I know that it was produced by Colin Linden. Obviously, must be fun to do because that guy knows what he's doing. He's brilliant.
He is brilliant, and he knows a lot of people. Victor Krauss plays some bass on the record. He's Alison Krauss's brother, and so does Darcy Yates. Gary Craig plays on the record. Jim Hoke plays a bunch of stuff. He plays the pedal steel, the chromatic harmonica, and he plays the saxophone. Obviously, Colin plays a little bit on it. I play on it and sing on it. A gentleman by the name of Brandon as the backing vocalist and did a fabulous job. And yeah, it wasn't a huge cast of characters. Obviously, you could listen to the record, and it's not overly produced at all. It's quite bare.
Yeah, it certainly is, and it is direct, pretty self-explanatory. The lyrics are straight ahead. You know the song "Love Letters." You talk about just the courage of writing a love letter. A lot of men, in particular, would have a hard time writing that love letter. So
they do, and it's an interesting thing because I'm really basically taking a jab at the internet age with that song.
Yeah, because there's a lack of courage there, for sure, right?
Yeah.
They're hiding behind pseudonyms and hiding.
Just hiding.
Love letters to the edges, love professed, love proclaimed. Pages upon pages, wishful thinking, lipstick stained. Love letters to the edges, nothing ventured, nothing gained. Pages upon pages, red roses in the rain. Maybe it's something about your eyes. Maybe it's something about your hair. Caution to the wind when love is in the air. Love letters to the edges, how they made them swoon. And Rita wrote to Virginia, and Johnny wrote to June. Pages upon pages, you lay it on the line, trying to find the courage to say, will you be mine? From my love to your heart, from my love to your heart, from my love to your heart, from my love to your heart. Love letters to the edges, how the words leap off the page and wrap themselves around you and never ever fade. Love letters to the edges, you feel it in the words. Pages upon pages, just wanting to be heard. From my love to your heart, from my love to your heart, from my love to your heart, from my love to your heart. Love letters to the edges, how the words leap off the page, wrap themselves around you and never ever fade.
Tell me about your country roots. Where does that come from?
What do you mean?
Well, I hear a lot of country music in your, certainly in your later records since The Ridge came out. You know, country sounds, fiddle, just a real good down-home feeling. It sounds like somewhere in there you got a love of country music.
I've always had a love of country music. I've had a love of all music, really. Country's no exception. Blues, country, folk, rock and roll, reggae, uh, soul. Those are like the things that I grew up with because those are the things that my parents and my family would listen to. So it's in me. I love it. Even gospel's there.
No, there's a mash of everything. I was in getting ready for this. I listened to all the Staggered Crossing and the earlier records, and certainly I didn't hear a lot of country-ish. And really, in the last 5 or 6 years of your recording career, you've gotten to that stripped down and more of what they like to call soul folk, but all of those genres are mixed in there, and somewhere in there your voice has also gained another dimension. Of course, you've gotten older and everything changes. but your voice and your singing is different too, is it not?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I think I've always been the same. A lot of people comment on that, but if you go back to the Staggered Crossing records, you will find that the country and folk influence is prevalent in the first record for sure, not so much the second, that was a conscious decision to just. It's probably the second Staggered Crossing record is probably one of my most straightforward, like in the box, sort of staying in one lane kind of record. But on the third record, Burgundy Blue, there is folk and country elements of it as well. It still exists in the Julian Taylor Band records on some songs, like for example, "Carry Me Home" is a song that it exists in. So for me, it's interesting that people find, of course, my voice has changed, but that I also equate that to certainly the fact that I'm, in my mid 40s. Mm-hmm. I can still sing high, but I just don't want to stay there for that long.
Could you give me the story? This is the heaviest song on the record to my ears. "Into the Waves." It's pretty dark. It sounds like it's
meant to be dark.
Yeah.
I mean, when I talk about the loss of the record deal and the disbanding of Staggered Crossing, I don't like to get into it too much, to be honest with you, but I'll just let you know. The guitar player was a very close friend of mine, and I use that in past tense because he's no longer in particular realm with us. He decided that he didn't want to be, and left 2 kids behind, and it's a hard one. Sorry.
You left your cigarettes at home tonight, stashed beneath your drawers in blacks and whites. You searched an empty street to find a light, but you left your cigarettes at home that night. I guess you wish you were someone else, so you don't have to play these games. You get your hair in knots time and time and time again. You walk down an empty, endless street for love, slightly tired from being on your feet. You sent your astronauts to Mars tonight, and left your head stuck in the clouds that night. You should dance with someone else. I hate to see you play those games. You get your hair in knots time and time and time again. Then suddenly the window pane, you underestimate the strain, and everything begins to change as you're taken off from Earth again, and you walk things are too hard to handle. Somebody's gonna break your heart. Some things are too hard to handle. Somebody's gonna break your heart.
You feel it, and it's part of the entire record, of how personal it is, uh, and challenging, but at the same time, it is uplifting. You are giving us a pep talk. There's one song left to talk about here. See this thing through,
Hmm.
and I mean, I gotta hand it to you. You're very you, you've persevered. You've taken the creative side, and just continue to expand, and then become the business guy, and have gotten into the world of DJing, even with the jukebox.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
tell me a little bit about that, how much fun that is, and how you put that thing together, and how you see that going forward.
Well, I hope it can go forward. As you know, being in radio, to monetize it and keep it going is really, really difficult. So I'm hoping that it can continue on its path. It's a lovely source for independent musicians who are looking to get some airplay out there and support. I started this petition back in 2016 about trying to get more color on the radio, and that's sort of my mandate. You know, I play 70% BIPOC music like myself. I never really. Staggered Crossing had an early hit on the first record called Further Again, and I remember when that came out, the way that they sort of had to pitch it to people was like, this is Counting Crows, or this is Hootie and the Blowfish kind of thing at the time, because that's what was big. And
Right.
to have a black, a colored lead singer with a white band that was sort of the play. So it's weird how the industry works and how our minds work. That was the idea, to get Staggered Crossing on the radio, and I felt a little bit hurt by that. Why can't I go and just do my own thing? And I understand it now. It's like, I don't always want to talk about where I come from and my heritage. I know where I come from, so it helps me with where I'm going. It wasn't always that way. As an adolescent, I was pretty confused just in general. And I didn't want to be part of anything other than what I felt was going to allow me to fit in. So I chose whatever path that was, and that pathway led me down a tricky road. But we don't need to get too far into that. I have stuck it out. I have done my best to support other people along the way, and I will continue to do my best to keep going, and I will continue to support other people along the way as long as I can. I hope, like I said, the radio show can go. I wish we had more ways of keeping it on the air, and hopefully that will come.
Well, recently you've done, I believe, your first tour of Europe, right?
I've gone back now 3 times, actually.
Yeah. Tell me about that, the European audience, and how you were received there, and how you see that as different to North America.
Oh, I love the European audiences. I think it's ingrained in their culture to support music and the arts. It just feels that way. I don't know how to explain that, but even if they don't know you, they'll go see you. Where I've had a little bit of a time sort of pulling teeth here and trying to get people to enjoy going out and seeing the shows. It's getting a little easier now, I must admit, but yeah, that's sort of my experience. I love their culture there. It's a walking culture as well. I don't know if that makes any sense, but basically you can walk out your front door and find pretty much anything you need, even in little towns like in England and Scotland, stuff like that. They've got like their little butcher shops and things like that. It's just everything's a little closer together because I guess the population is that much more dense.
Yeah.
That it's not like a sprawl. You don't see a lot of what do you call it, suburb sort of kind of things
Yeah. Oh, I
out there.
certainly can relate. I have Portuguese heritage, and I go often. I've been going since I was 11 years old, and have always noticed that the arts are not, they're completely understood. People, it is life. People there are not confused as they are here in North America about what arts and culture are. And everything is just, it's everyday knowledge. And they, Europeans all over, just understand the importance of art and the artists, and they pay attention. They pay attention to the whole thing because they don't have to wait until Van Gogh passes before they get it. You know, they get it in real time. And over here, it's always about, okay, I'll only start following this guy once he becomes famous. You know, it's about, they're chasing the fame. They're not chasing.
That's it. There's a very good analogy. They're chasing, here they chase the fame. There they don't. It's not about chasing the fame. In fact, because they say enjoy an artist right from the get-go, when the artist, you know, becomes famous per se, they're still there with them. It's not as if they look at it as like, oh, now they've sold out, you know.
Absolutely.
Like that's a definite trait that we have here. It's like somebody makes it and they've been doing this and they've been trying, and then all of a sudden they're like, well, now they've made it, they've sold out. We don't care about them anymore.
I bought a ticket to LA, said all my goodbyes. I bought a snow globe and a magnet when I arrived. I can remember the feeling that I had on that ride. Caught the horizon passing me by. I've always wanted the bright lights and to be on the big screen. Seems like I've been out here forever, chasing that dream. I ain't breaking, I keep on pushing. I'm gonna see this thing through. I ain't breaking, I keep on pushing. I'm gonna see this thing through. See this thing through. I saw the skyline in the distance. I met Jesus at the bar. Hustle tables as a bar back, but no one cares who you are. I've always wanted the bright lights and to be on the big screen. Seems like I've been out here forever, chasing that dream. I ain't breaking, I keep on pushing. I'm gonna see this thing through. I ain't breaking, I keep on pushing. I'm gonna see this thing through. See this thing through.
Okay. I don't know what else here. I'm going to say thanks, man, for coming across the tracks, giving me some backstory on all of this. It really is a great record. Are you happy with the way it's being played, received?
Yes, I am actually. I was surprised. I wasn't sure if people were going to receive it well because it is a bit different from what I put out recently, and the other two had been so well received. So I was, yeah, pleasantly surprised. Yeah, you never know, right? You just got to do what you got to do and see what happens. All right, brother. Well, listen, it's great to chat with you.
Yeah,
Appreciate
you
the
too.
time.
All the best.
We'll
Continue the journey. Meet you at the Staggered Crossing. Adios.
You got it.
Bye.
Adios, amigo.
We've gone across the tracks. This has been a Borderline Entertainment production.